Welcome, Professor Joyce.
Thank you.
Do you believe peace can be achieved in the Middle East? And if so, how?
I'm confident it can be achieved. I don't think we should give up. We have to continue. After all, the Cold War ended. Many of us didn't see that coming. Peace can be achieved by constantly working at it. We have to maintain relations with Middle Eastern countries. We have to reach out. We have to establish more educational programs, invite Middle Eastern students to our campuses, and encourage our students to study in Middle Eastern countries, despite the complications. We also should pay more attention to the Arabic language. We should encourage the study of Arabic. We should encourage the study of Farsi. We have to be more knowledgeable about the peoples and the cultures of the Middle East.
One of the key aspects of Middle Eastern relationships has been that of the Israelis and the Arabs. Can you comment on that?
Yes. I think resolving the Palestinian-Israeli conflict is crucial. The only way to solve it is through American pressure. Kind pressure, but we have to play a role. We, the United States, we cannot ignore the situation. We have to help bring the parties together, and we have to insist on a two-state solution. It will take time, but we have the ability to do it. We need to stick with it.
Are there other roles that the United States can or should play in this conflict?
In the Arab-Israeli conflict, I think we have to continue as we have so far. We have to support the State of Israel. We are the best friend that the State of Israel has. That's an important role for us. And we also rely on Israel. We certainly relied on Israel during the Cold War. Israel is a staunch supporter of the United States. But we have to encourage movement. We can't close our eyes to the occupation of the Palestinian territory. Israel certainly didn't start the '67 war. The Arabs started the '67 war. But Israel occupied territory that was earlier part of the Arab world. And the fact that some of this territory is still under Israeli occupation is a detriment to establishing peace. The territory known as the West Bank was taken from the Hashemite kingdom of Jordan, and it was never given back to Jordan, although in '94, Israel and Jordan made peace. The reason the territory wasn't given back to Jordan, and Jordan was willing to make peace anyway, is the king of Jordan, King Hussein, agreed that the territory no longer belonged to Jordan. It belonged to the Palestinians. So although he truly wanted the territory back, he decided that he would renounce his right to the territory. And so the territory, which the Palestinians, of course, claim as their inheritance, is still occupied by Israel. Now, Israel rightly explains often enough that the government of Israel has to maintain the security of the State of Israel. And since so many Palestinians refuse to recognize the right of Israel to exist, that Israel can't return the territory. So there's an important role for the United States here. The United States can work with both sides, or perhaps more than both sides, all sides. And hopefully, with constant patience, achieve some kind of solution that will finally end the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and the Arab-Israeli conflict.
To what extent is this conflict a conflict of Holy Land and holy war and holy issues?
Holy is used. I see it as a garment, a robe. You wrap yourself in holiness, and you use holy as an excuse. We're talking now about the 21st century and nation states. I see this as a competing nationalisms. Now, I'm not denying that the religion plays an important role as well. And the problem in the Middle East is that there is no such thing as separation of mosque and state or synagogue and state. Okay? I think this is part of the dilemma. Hopefully this can be resolved. But unfortunately, I think religion is used as a cloak. There are religious fanatics. I'm not denying that. We've had September 11th. We know that these fanatics can reach New York City. They can reach the United States. They made themselves heard loud and clear on September 11th. And, it's something we will never forget, and we have to keep in mind all the time. But it's not sufficient to just say, oh, we're dealing with religious fanatics. We're dealing with other cultures. And we have to also remember that in the Muslim world, there's conflict Muslim against other Muslim. The Turks who are Muslims are resented by some countries, some Arab countries, because the Turks once ruled the Arab world. Inside Islam, there are denominations. There are Sunni and Shia and other denominations. As in Christianity, we have Protestants and Catholics. And as you know, they didn't always get on very well. And sometimes, even in the 20th century, there were problems, as in Northern Ireland. So there's a wide variety of issues. This is not a simple, easy, matter.
So in closing, Professor Joyce, what do you consider the primary deterrents to peace in the Middle East?
The primary deterrents are, I would say, lack of will. We can't give up. Sometimes we get tired of it. And, we say, oh, well, we can't deal with these people. We have to keep trying diplomatically, and I'm proud of our President Obama, for his efforts, and hope that he will continue his visits to Middle Eastern universities, as he visited Cairo and the university in Cairo. I hope that he leads us forward insofar as continued dialogue. And I hope we have more students here from the Muslim world. This summer, during my semester, my course called Walk Around Chicago, I had 2 Saudi students. I think that's a good thing.
Thank you, Professor Joyce.
Thank you.